Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth.
Speaking of professionalism, when is it professional to publicly bash someone who's going through a hard time? Leave Britney alone! Please!
Many would regard this as one of the most obviously crazy overexpressions of emotion ever to grace the internet. But let's just say that they weren't calling for people to merely leave Britney alone, but for the institutional killing of people who were critical of Britney as a social norm to be conducted by Britney fans, not as a threat or a promise, but as a mandate of justice. Could anyone come to any other conclusion than this guy and his clan are batshit crazy? I mean, we're not just talking crazy, we're talking keep this person away from sharp objects and pregnant women style crazy.
Nice meeting you. Just keep moving, don't make eye contact.
And yet, all that is needed is for such beliefs to don the robes of religion, and people hesitate in criticizing the faith. They hesitate in calling the clearly batshit crazy. This mental block immediately goes up as the social reflex reaction kicks in that, no, shouldn't we be tolerant and respect people's religions? Are you kidding? If someone is suggesting that their religion mandates that they institutionally kill people who disagree with their religion, the only appropriate response is at least to call bullshit on this particularly antisocial export of this irrationality factory we call religion. Now, there will be those out there who will simply say, look, this is the 21st century. We can fire spacecraft out of the solar system. This is just a straw man. Religion simply doesn't. It can't induce this sort of level of psychopathic behaviour in people. Well, I'm afraid the truth is actually far worse and more disturbing. You see, Chris Croker here was merely upset about the widespread media criticism of Britney. Someone just made these 3 tweets.
I love many things about you and hate others, and there are many things about you I don't understand. I won't bow in front of you. I won't kiss your hand. Instead, I will shake it as an equal. And no Saudi women will go to hell because it's impossible to go there twice.
And it caused this shake to be reduced to tears.
اعذروني أيها الأخوة، لا أستطيع أن ألقي درس اليوم. كيف ألقي درس اليوم والله ورسوله يصبان علانية؟
This is the sort of sensitivity that would make Chris Croker look like a stalwart, leather-skinned, emotionally detached rhino. And this is no hypothetical. This sheikh and over 14,000 Saudis are calling for Hamza to be executed over these 3 tweets.
As of Friday, over 14,000 people have joined a Facebook group called The Saudi People Demand the Execution of Hamza Kashgari.
And Hamza Kashgari was forcibly deported from Malaysia without due process and is currently possibly facing a death sentence over these tweets. This is fucked up beyond all recognition. And to call it like it is not hate speech. It's not intolerant, it's not bigoted. It's just a harsh, brutal and honest assessment of the actions that this religion has directly induced in its adherents. And to temper or soften what is said for fear of offending the social sensibilities of these crazies would simply constitute a dereliction of civic duty, an appeasement that will just doom further generations to more of the same. This is one of the reasons why I'm still here, as it's a badge of shame that we should wear as a species, that this level of institutional psychopathic irrationality can gain social acceptance, or at minimum partial immunity from criticism.
Diplomatic community!
Simply through calling itself a religion. It's a badge of shame that this can happen in the same species that can sequence its own genome. And that's why Draw Mohammad Day will return this year, on the 20th of May, this time in Twitter form. Look, I'm not asking for people to become completely rational and emotionally detached.
This is your 35th attempt to elicit an emotional response from me.
Indeed, I would draw on Google's lead on this. Their corporate motto is not be good, it's don't be evil, with the latter being a significantly easier target to hit than the former. Look, I'm not asking for people to be completely rational. I'm more of a don't be irrational, or maybe something attainable like don't be psychopathically irrational. But how to attain such lofty goals that have thus far perpetually evaded the wit of man? Well, like V said,
words will always retain their power.
And in the open and free marketplace of ideas, good ideas will generally propagate better than bad ones. And while the free marketplace of ideas remains in existence, it will just be a place where the hollow Emperor's New Clothes type exports of the irrationality factory of religion evaporate and melt away under the spotlight of scrutiny. Whether those ideas be about the necessity of institutionally killing people who tweet bad things about your religion, or that craters on the moon were formed by Noah's flood, or that saying magical incantations over crackers will turn them into the body of an ancient desert zombie. The internet is simply a place where religions come to die. However, it's all contingent on the open and free marketplace of ideas being maintained. We lose the arena, and such crazy ideas can happily propagate in societies for centuries. I therefore have to thank the thousands of you who recently supported this channel when it had several videos, as staunchly critical of religion as this one, removed when YouTube deemed them unacceptable. YouTube has since reinstated the videos, even after initially declaring the videos impartially reviewed as being inappropriate. Now, YouTube did not make their intent clear beyond the largely self-explanatory action of reinstating the videos. However, given that the other options that they could have potentially exercised, things like being decisive and sticking with their guns, or ignoring it, or banhammering this channel, I find it difficult to see this in any other light than the best possible outcome, and it certainly sends the right message. Sure, it's more of a don't promote censorship type message rather than a promote free speech, but it's good enough to render this aspect of the free marketplace of ideas fit for purpose. It's also my sincere belief that this outcome was mostly due to the overwhelming support of the opinions that you voiced on this video. The opinions of one man can vanish quite anonymously, but those expressed by the third or so of a million people who watch this video indeed retain their power. Let us just hope that they are powerful enough that in 100 years' time that no person on this planet should suggest that someone should be executed merely for the most mild criticism of someone's religion.